He's recognized as a boxing champion, as far as I'm concerned, a boxing legend. But it's what he does outside the ring that is truly inspiring. What a joy it is for me to face off against this man right here. Otis Grant, welcome to Read Between the Lines, or face off. Well, you're breaking my hand right there with a handshake.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. You're on the top of my list of one of the guys I wanted to interview. With the success you've seen in boxing and the success you've seen outside the ring, it's remarkable to see what you've been able to accomplish. How long has it been since you fought Roy Jones? Can you believe it's been that long?
I fought Roy Jones in 1998, November. So it's been quite a while. I mean, that was my biggest fight to date. And like at the time when I fought Roy was like Floyd Mayweather of today. He was pound for pound the best guy in the sport. And I had an opportunity to fight him, and you know, they say opportunity knocks only so often in this business. So like I moved up 2 weight classes to take that fight because it was a fantastic opportunity, and a lot of people thought I was crazy for jumping up 2 weight classes to take that fight.
It's funny you talk about jumping up 2 weight classes because a lot of guys wouldn't do that in today's era with regards to boxing. What are your opinions in terms of the state of boxing now? What is the one thing that either A, you really like about boxing, or B, drives you absolutely crazy when you look at the state of boxing?
You know, I think right now, in some of the weight classes, you don't see the best fight the best guys. You know, a lot of the promoters, a lot of the managers in the business now, they're protecting their fighter, you know, and trying to put them in with fights that they know will win. But back in the day, the best fought the best guys. When Thomas Hearns fought Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler and Robert Duran and all those guys fought each other.
When you were a contender, you were a contender.
Yeah, you fought the best, and like you know, the best comes on the watch. Now today, I think the way the business of boxing has changed, and even also the fighters, like with social network and all this kind of stuff. These guys promote themselves and let you think that they're the greatest guy that ever put on a pair of gloves, but you know, they haven't really been. It hasn't been proven. They're not taking the fights that they need to take to back up the statements that they're putting out there to the rest of the world.
You brought up a great point in terms of a lot of guys dodging each other. It almost feels like when you become the champ in today's era, they do everything they can to avoid the big fight because they want that big paycheck.
That's right.
Do you still believe that there are guys who are just fearless in the ring and that will take on those fights? And if so, can you name me one? You know,
I think there are, like Floyd Mayweather hasn't been beaten. He'll fight anybody. But I think the biggest fight that the world's been waiting on is the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And that fight hasn't happened. And that fight should have happened, but like right now Pacquiao's gonna fight Algerian, the winner might fight Floyd. But Floyd's at the end. I think he has 3 fights to go. But that fight should have happened years ago. And I think
at their peaks.
At their peaks, yeah. So they're cheating the fans. That fight should have happened when they were both at the peak of their career, and they're at the best of the best. But now, like, I think Floyd has 2 or 3 fights left on his contract, and I think.
Who do you have in that fight, by the way?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Mayweather in the fight. Like, you know, when a guy hasn't been beaten, it's hard. It's hard to go
against the record, right?
100%. And I think
is he the best pound-for-pound fighter you've ever seen or ever gone up against? I mean, how do you could stack him up against Roy Jones or anybody else you fought?
You know what? Like, I think his opposition was weaker than some of the guys before him. You know, like my favorite fighter of all time, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
Now, Hagler fought everybody. You know, he fought Ray Leonard, he fought Robert Duran, he fought Tommy Hearns, he fought them all. Like that's when you prove your worth in the ring. You fight the best of the best, and then you come on top. This era right now, Floyd doesn't have those type of challengers, guys that were considered as equal. And the one guy that was, for one reason or the other, like, you know, drug testing, not drug testing, they never made the fight happen. When it should have.
There's a lot of what you do is outside the ring. I was mentioning it before. And congratulations on all your success and how much you give back to Montreal. It's phenomenal. It's remarkable. But it all starts at Grant Brothers Gym and some of the galas that you have and some of the fundraisers you organize. Can you talk a little bit about some of the galas that you do, the amateur championships?
Right now, you know, we have the gym. We promote amateur events in-house with community kids that we just take from the community, and they come in, they start learning boxing. We started
they get to spar with you as well? It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Well, I don't spar that much anymore, but like I've worked with a lot of kids over the years. But right now, the thing that we're doing pro-am shows because we train professional fighters. It was a key part of our business at one point. But now we're starting to do our own shows where we highlight our pros, but we open with our amateurs. So all guys from Grant Brothers, which kind of like keeping everything in-house. Our amateurs open the shows, the professional close the shows, and our next event is November 7th. At the Chateau Vaudreuil, and you know, they're going very well. It's our 4th event within 1 year, and you know, it's an opportunity to, you know, like how hockey has a farm team. Like we have our amateur program, like as our farm team, we turn these kids pro. The 3 guys from my gym that are fighting the 3 professional fights were my former 3 my amateur boxers. So
well, how is the state of local boxing and Quebec boxing? How does it look? I mean, we hear about Jean Pascal, we hear about Adonis, we hear about Lemieux, but on the grassroots levels, how's it looking?
Grassroots level is good. I think countrywide, I think Montreal, Quebec, this province right here, and this city is probably the best it's been in boxing over the years, because you gotta look at, let's say you just mentioned Pascal, there's Boutte, there's Stevenson. Those are 3 guys that were 3 world champions at the same time in one city. That hasn't happened here before. And even that fight too, the Boutte Pascal and the Pascal Stevenson, those fights should have happened a while ago. I think it was a successful fight when Pascal fought Boutte, but had that fight happened when they were both champions of the world, it would have been a much bigger fight. It would have been a fight that put Montreal on the map worldwide as a place. And one of the things that we have in Montreal that you don't see outside in the United States or other parts of the world, like you put 2 local guys in the ring, or they'll draw 15, 20,000 people. Yeah. You don't see that at a Floyd Mayweather fight. You don't see that at like a Pacquiao fight. They might get 10,000, 12,000. Those guys are the biggest name in the sport. But Montreal is unique in that the fans come out and they support their local guys.
Well, speaking of support, I also had a chance of seeing some footage of you going into schools and giving back. Can you just real quickly talk about the impact that boxing has on the troubled youth and how you've used that as a tool?
I've done a lot of work in the school. I worked for the school board for many years for Lester B, and I was working in English Montreal before that. And being in the gym, when a young person comes in, is having some difficulty, and like he might be, rough kid at school, he might be getting in fights and not paying attention, or having issues with his parents. We have parents that bring my brother and I, kids, into the gym and say, I can't deal with him, you guys. So we take kids in there. Boxing is a very humbling sport. So a lot of times you'll have a kid that comes in that thinks he knows how to fight and all that, and you'll put him in with a little kid that's been around the gym, but on the street, the bigger kid probably,
of course,
smack him
but
around.
Not in the ring, right?
In the ring,
yeah.
Look, keep his hands up, block punches, move away, and like you put a kid that thinks he's a tough guy in with a little guy, and I'm gonna kill this guy. The bell rings, you can't lay a glove on him, and the kid's touching him up, and those kids that turn around quickly, they're like, wow. It's not supposed to happen, but it's happening. So, we use boxing to benefit and to try to help young people in trouble, out of trouble, and just to keep them focused into, I'm a big advocate of kids getting involved in sports or physical activity, because, it's a great way to release that excess energy. And if you don't have some of the talent to channel that energy, you could always end up in trouble or end up with the wrong kids or end up doing the wrong thing. So our doors are always open to kids that are, good kids from the community, but also kids are having a little rough go at home with their family or whatever.
Well, there's no doubt that you do great work, and it's a great pleasure to have you on our Face Off segment. Before I let you go, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you. We're going to do a little rapid fire segment. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you let me know the first thing that comes to mind, all right?
All right.
So first things first, have you ever played Punch-Out on the old school Nintendo?
I have.
Did you ever beat Mike Tyson?
I never did.
Who is your number 1 fighter you'd love to play or fight against in career that you would have really liked that you never got a chance to fighting?
I was supposed to fight Bernard Hopkins twice, and the fight fell through, so I think Bernard Hopkins would be a good guy to go.
Greatest of all time, regardless of weight class?
I'd still say Muhammad Ali because of the impact on the sport inside the ring and outside the ring.
20 years ago, who wins the fight, you or your brother?
My brother, I'm bigger than my brother, but he was more skilled than I was.
At 20 years fast forward today, who takes the fight now?
I think I might be in a little better shape and a lot heavier than he is right now.
There it is. Maybe we'll have him on to talk about that. Otis, great to have you on. Thanks again. Right. We invite you to connect with Otis Grant and with us on our Facebook.com page at facebook.com/RBTL Sports, as well as on Twitter at RBTL Sports. It's already done. Well, on behalf of the entire team, we want to thank you for being here. And as always, we'll see you next week.
Adam Reid's wardrobe is provided by Carve Clothing, available at carve.ca. Salon services courtesy of Glam Atelier, La Maison de Beauté. Catering services provided by Season Dreams by J. Anthony.